BeLocal Buzz with Devin. Devin is the owner and publisher of Stroll Harbor Bluffs and BeLocal Beaches magazines. She's also the founder of Raising Relief Foundation and the host of BeLocal Buzz on the TAN Talk Radio Network. Now here's Devin, your community connector.
Good afternoon, everybody, and welcome to BeLocal Buzz, here every Thursday with Devin, your community connector. And I just wanted to say, welcome back. What a nice surprise. I walk into the radio station and I see the producer, Juan, back. Juan, how was your sabbatical?
Thank you, Dev. Very good. I'm coming back.
Excellent. Excellent. Well, we've missed you. It's good to work with you and see you again.
Thank you.
Okay. So I did something so cool this weekend, and I couldn't even believe it. It is called Waymo. Waymo.
Tell me.
I was in Phoenix, Arizona, and all of a sudden I see these driverless cars driving around, and I'm like, what? There are white Jaguars, and they kind of look like a little Back to the Future because they have this kind of equipment on top and stuff. And I'm like, you know, the daredevil that I am, I'm like, what is that? And I need to get a ride in that. So it's called Waymo, and it is a driverless car. It is so crazy.
Goodness.
It's like you're sitting there, and all of a sudden the steering wheel starts moving. It goes on the highway. The blinkers are, that knows where to park. It is the wildest thing. So it's definitely the cutting edge. Like I said, right now they're only in Phoenix, LA, and San Francisco, but it's definitely the way of the future. They say it's safer because if you kind of think about it, not that I want to replace Uber drivers, taxi drivers. I don't care. I'm not saying I want to replace positions. However, if you really do think about it, a Waymo or driverless car cannot talk on the phone, text, change the radio, put lipstick on, put mascara on, do any of that. I know it's weird. Don't get me wrong.
I know, but they can still malfunction. I mean, who programs them? Right?
Of course, they can malfunction. They can get into accidents. Things can happen. But I'm just saying it was a very cool experience. So if you want to go on Stroll Harbor Bluffs and look at my Instagram, there's pictures of me in the passenger seat watching the steering wheel, cracking up, of course, because it's so hilarious. But so I did a driverless car in Phoenix, Arizona this weekend.
You're so brave.
Juan?
I want to try.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was amazing. Wow.
It's just so cool. There's nothing crazier than see a car. And then when a Waymo pulls up next to a Waymo, it's like, oh, do they flirt? Are these ghosts flirting with each other? Like, what's going on?
I mean, are they like, you know, positioning each other's, you know, at the stoplight to take off?
Yeah,
I mean,
right. Is there going to be a race going on with Waymo? And they never go over the speed limit. I was watching that kind of stuff. It's just crazy. It's just crazy.
No, I did see that. And I was watching that on your IG, and I was like, oh my goodness. I'm like, I think I would have to, like, I hate to say this, but I think I might have to pre-medicate before going in one of those. I mean, either that or really desperate, you know, for a ride.
Well, most of the comments were that. No way, never do it. But it pulled up in front of the hotel I was staying at, and I'm like, and I saw people get in. I'm like, what is that? Because it looks like a Back to the Future car. And someone said it's a driverless car. I'm like, what does that even mean? I didn't even know there was such a thing. I really didn't. So then I looked in the driver's side, and sure enough, there was no driver. And then all of a sudden it takes off.
I know. It's like the Jetsons, you know?
It is.
Before you know it, it's like we're going to have a Rosie in the house.
Yeah. Well, I always do. You already have your little Rosie that goes around. We call ours Rosie, the Roomba.
Oh, the Roomba. Yeah.
Yeah, we call ours Rosie. So yeah, Waymo is the way to driverless cars. It's pretty wild. And it's cheaper than Uber. Really? And you don't have to tip. So there you go. Other benefits of wireless, driverless cars. So yeah, check it out. Stroll Harbor Bluffs Instagram if you want to see what it looks like live. So I got some really cool things to go over today, and there's some time-sensitive events that I want to start the show off right now with. Tonight at 6 o'clock, is Cocktails and Conversations with Molly. And Molly does a financial planning and investment with women. She does this quarterly, and it's at Coastal Market 607 over there in Largo on Clearwater Largo Road. And it's at 6 p.m. tonight. Again, it's called Cocktails and Conversations, and it's financial advice and planning and just strategizing and just education and awareness for women. So it's always a great thing. You don't want to miss that. So if you can't get it tonight at 6 o'clock, you'll see it in the next couple months. We'll have another one of those. Another time sensitive is tomorrow night at Salty Roots Boutique. They're a really cute little boutique now located on Walsingham Road in Largo, over where the new Bark and Park or something, Bar and Park or bar is opened up next to Fluffy Puppies. And they are having a hat party, which is so cool. So they set up all these like patches and stuff, and women come in and make their hats and all like handbags. It's very cool. It's a very cool girls thing. It's the new thing to do with your kids, without your kids, girls parties. So it's called hat parties, and they're becoming very, very popular. And that is tomorrow night at Salty Roots Boutique, again on Walsingham Road in Largo, and it's from 4 to 7. So get over there and have some fun and make some cool hats. Great gifts too, because they're all custom. So today, I have a very special guest. She's no stranger to radio, TV. Everyone knows her. She's exceptional at what she does. I'm not going to spoil the secret. Her name is Donna. She'll be telling you what she does. But do we have a song for Donna? And the reason why I played this song for Donna is because Donna is the owner of Artisan Face and Body located in Dunedin. And this is the song that I play before I see Donna, and I play it after I see Donna, and then I play it when I see the results from Donna. So thank you for making me so excited. Donna, welcome to BeLocal Buzz with Devin. Thank you for being here today.
Thank you, Devin. It's always a pleasure to be here. We always have such great conversation. We get to share with the community some really cool stuff. So I'm really happy to be here. And gosh, it's warming up nicely, and it's everything's perfect. But
Oh, speaking of warming up, can I just tell you something about I'm going to go back to Arizona. I never in my life thought I would ever say I miss the humidity. I got out to Arizona. My skin looks like it aged 10 years. I had never been so uncomfortable in the dry. My hands are chapped. My nose was chapped. I couldn't breathe. My lips, my skin, and the girl I was with kept getting nosebleeds. So I was like, I didn't realize humidity or lack of humidity could have such an effect on your skin.
Profound.
So I just happened to look up, what is the humidity in Florida? Even though it was cold here, the humidity and moisture in the air was at 80%. I looked and said, what is Arizona? That I was in Phoenix? 8%. 8%. So I am glad to be back in Florida. I will take the humidity. And I bet you that our skin is better because of the humidity. Could that be true?
Yes and no. I mean, you would think that because we have such incredible humidity here in, beautiful Florida, that would solve the problems. But, the hydration also deals with how you're taking care of yourself, how you are, hydrating your body. With what are you hydrating your body? Because we just can't be absorbing it all from the atmosphere. So does it help to some extent? Yes, it does. But we also need to be mindful and responsible with actually the alimentation that we give ourselves.
Well, I was putting more Aquaphor all over my nose and face and everything, and it wasn't hydrating enough. That's how dry it was. So glad to be back in Florida. Glad to have you on the show. So I know we have a very exciting topic to talk about, and that's International Women's Day, which is March 8th. And I am super excited for you to tell everyone the news and what is actually going on that date and kind of like the philanthropy behind it.
Sure, sure. So Ideal Life Counseling, which is owned by Mona McGregor and Deanna Breeze, they're putting together this incredible local event for our women. It's for women supporting women, and it's International Women's Day on March 8th. This event is going to take place right here in Dunedin, and it is going to be at the Fenway Hotel.
Nice.
March 8th. It's from 11 a.m. until 2 p.m. And we have the most amazing keynote speaker. She is a 4-time Pulitzer Prize nominee.
Excellent.
She has an Oprah book. She's written 10 books. She's a bestseller. She's all her books are bestsellers. And excuse me, her name, is Fawn Germer, and she is a local to Dunedin.
Oh, you're kidding. How exciting is that?
We have a gem right here in our backyard, and we are so excited. Artisan Face and Body is one of the sponsors for this event that Deanna and Mona are putting together. And it is just amazing. And what's really incredible is that part of these proceeds are also going to help women through the Raising Relief charity. So we're really excited about that because we love working with Raising Relief. There are so many incredible benefits that Raising Relief has given to our community, to the families. I mean, it just goes on and on. And just when you think it's been enough, y'all come up with more.
Yeah.
And it's a really wonderful community that has come together, that you have put together. I mean, it's your blood, sweat, and tears. And, I'm very, very appreciative for that, because seeing patients that, have suffered, loss, whether it be through, family dynamics or through natural accidents, it's you guys come through for them. And I'm able to connect these people with you. And somehow I feel like, okay, I've helped a little bit,
Absolutely. And thank you for that. And if you don't know what Donna's talking about, Raising Relief Foundation is a nonprofit that's been around for 7 years. And what we do is we help other nonprofits to have immediate needs to help the people that they're helping, and all societal issues. But we also help families in crisis. And we were, overtime and nonstop. I was working till midnight, till 6 o'clock, and then starting again at 6 o'clock in the morning during that whole hurricane. And even though my husband and I went to Europe, we were still filling needs of the community back here in Florida. So we are the eyes, we're the angels, but we're the eyes and the ears of the community. We look out when people don't think that we're even watching or no one's paying attention to them. We come in and help. And Donna is on our Raising Relief Foundation board and committee, and we are thankful for great pillars of the society like you for really understanding, because we're all volunteer run. So all the dollars go right back to the community. And we have some really cool things and goals happening for 2025, which I don't want to say yet because it's in the works.
I know we don't want to create too much of a spoiler.
Yeah, we don't want all the surprise. I don't want the phones ringing off the hook. So, we will table that for a moment. But thank you very much. We're so excited to be a recipient of this amazing International Women's Day event. So, Donna, what about you? Tell us your background and how you got started. And before I forget, I always forget to say, if you'd like to call and talk to Donna, please call 727-441-3000. And if you miss this show, if you're just getting into your car now and you're like, oh, I wonder what I missed, and you always miss something when you're listening to BeLocal Buzz with Devin, you can always go on YouTube, Tan Talk Radio Network, and you can always watch the show. So I have Donna Gonzalez here. She is the owner and founder of Artisan Face and Body, located in Dunedin. So how did you get started? And tell us a little bit about Donna.
Well, I've had quite the interesting path. I've always been interested in healthcare to some extent, one way or another. I mean, even with going to school, I graduated with a, scholarship for sports medicine. I went ahead and I followed through with that, and then decided I wanted to do more. And I thought I wanted to do physical therapy, but, I was late on applying. And I was so busy traveling with a national championship volleyball team and everything. And I thought, oh, it's okay. I can just apply late. They'll accept me. It's just the young minds, the way you think, right? And I was like, nope, but you're on our waiting list. And I was like, wow, well, that's a rude awakening. It's like, I thought you wanted me. But, it's a young mind, but that everything happens for a reason.
Absolutely.
I really believe that. And during this time, I segued and I kept going to school. I went to Tallahassee, but that's not what I wanted to do. And it wasn't quite working out for me there. So I came back to South Florida, is where I was from. And I went back to school there and I was tutoring science. Science has come really easy for me, science and math. So I was tutoring physics, biochem, organic, just because I could and I needed money. And I had someone come up to me that had just gotten out of the Marines and was going to nursing school. And I was tutoring him on physics, and I was tutoring him in biochem and a few other things. And he was like, why aren't you going to nursing school or med school? I was like, well, I just don't want to put in the time. It's so much school. But you know what? I understand why there's all that time, in hindsight, of course, because I've done quite a bit and I went the long route. But regardless, I got to my destination. But I ended up actually applying and getting into nursing school. I applied for med school as well. Hadn't heard back from them. And I thought, whoever I hear back from first, that's what I'm going to do. And so, instantaneously, Florida International University reached out to me. They're like, all right, you made it in by the deadline, which was literally the last day. Okay, here we go again. And they're like, but yes, we want you. And I was like, that's what? Great. And so I was like, okay. So here I am in my first semester of nursing school, and I hear back that med school wants me too. And I was like, you know what? I'm not going to do this. I'm not going to hop around. I'm going to stick to something. I'm going to finish it. And that's what I did. And while I was in nursing school, I needed to make money. And a friend of mine was like, hey, listen, I happen to know someone that helps to rehab patients after they've had plastic surgery. And these are people coming from out of the country and they're in a hotel and they need someone to just look after them, someone to make sure they're taking their medication on time, help, the nurses with bandage dressings, changings. And can you do that? And this is how much it pays. And I was like, whoa. I'm like, really? I'm like, sign me up.
Yeah.
So I started doing that. And then I started getting my first taste of several different aspects, of healthcare, but the plastics and what was going on. But I also enjoyed speaking to the men and women about why they wanted to do what they were doing. And then I thought, with nursing, I want to do psych.
Okay.
So I did psych. But I still was not fulfilled. I just kept getting drawn back to the plastics and how interesting it was and, how everything was being done. So there I was working, I did neuroscience and trauma and ICU. And I would do moonlighting with PACU, which is the recovery room. And I started speaking with this woman who was just such a delight. And she was always so positive. And she was like, I see you in the OR. You understand all this science so much. And you ask these certain questions that, think about it, and become a nurse anesthetist. So wow. I inquired about it and I started thinking, and I spoke to the person who talked me into nursing school in the first place, who is now an attorney. So all these avenues that we venture into. And I was like, this is, what do you think? And he was like, I think you should. Awesome. This is great. So back to school I went, became a nurse anesthetist, specializing with neonatology and pediatrics. But then again, I found myself moonlighting for all the cases with plastics. And I kept on and I really found an interest. So I started thinking I want to just do the anesthesia for the plastic cases. But as life would have, throwing me a curveball, I'm having a conversation, and there's this neurosurgeon that I know who's like, "What's it going to take for you to work with me?" And I was like, "What do you mean?" And he's like, "I know that you're in the OR, but I need someone to help me build, the neuro department and the neuroscience department. And, I think you would be great with your background and what you know, and you can just take a break from the OR for a little bit." I thought, this is pretty good. I do think I want to do administration. And I did. And I was in there 5 years in, started the neuroscience department, stroke center, spine clinic.
Yeah.
And I was on all these boards and trying to make things happen and seeing all the red tape. And I was like, oh gosh, I do not want to be a CNO or a vice president or a president of a hospital, because I like to get things done, but I want to get things done. Right. I don't want to be stopped.
Right.
And there's a lot of red tape being stopped. And I couldn't spread myself out any further to be on any more committees and boards that I already was. So I thought, you know what? I'm going back to the OR. I'm going to go pass some gas.
Yeah.
And so this was in Orlando. And then I went over to, I was recruited for Tampa, in Tampa for Florida Gulf to Bay anesthesiology. And the recruitment was for me to do trauma ICU pain management.
Right.
And I thought, this is great. This is great. This is up my alley, and this is wonderful. And I still have autonomy 4 days a week. Da, da, da. And then there was a hiring freeze at the hospital. So I was hired on by the anesthesia team. Right? But the hospital also had to hire me. So during this time, crazy things happened. At 40, I conceived. Didn't know this was still possible.
Right.
Had a difficult pregnancy. So at 25 weeks, as I was being rushed to the hospital, on my deathbed, literally, I delivered for my little 17-year-old, Sophia. And it was a whirlwind. And she had some needs, and I thought, I can't go back to the hospital to anything. I need to stay here. So I stayed at home for a little while with my family in Tampa, and I helped to get her, rehabbed and everything that she needed, because as wonderful as the insurance was that I had, she just needed so much more.
Right.
And so I went ahead and I did this. And before I knew it, I thought, gosh, I've been feeling a little bit run down. I could use a little bit of filler.
So this is where the magic
I was like,
comes
my
in.
cheeks are looking a little sunken. And so I went ahead and I went into an office, started speaking to them. Very delightful woman that I was having a conversation with that was doing a consult for me. And before you know it, she's like, hey, so-and-so would like to speak to you. And I'm thinking, oh, this is my provider. Okay, great. Long story short, I walked out of there with a job.
Awesome. In
aesthetics. And so I did just solely aesthetics for a while, but I still knew in my heart that I needed to combine the wellness factor with it, because we're only as good as we look on the outside as we are on the inside.
Excellent. And so, wow, that's great. So if you're just tuning in, it's BeLocal Buzz with Devin here on Thursday on TAN Talk Radio. And we're talking to Donna, who has an amazing background. Wow. Thank you for sharing that with us. If you missed it, you can go to YouTube Live, TAN Talk Radio Network. And we have a couple questions to ask you, because I know there's a lot of stuff going out there with like vitamin D. Now, I had to look up a little bit about vitamin D to find out what they do, because vitamin D, you would think we live in Florida that we wouldn't be talking about vitamin D, right? It's just kind of, you would think, but we actually have a deficit like no one else. So it regulates the calcium and phosphate, which helps your bones, your teeth, and your muscles, and your blood pressure, right?
Mm-hmm. And so much more.
And so much more. But that's what Mrs. Google told me. So I want to hear it from Donna herself. What is going on with vitamin D? I know it's a topic that you're really focusing on. So can you tell us, why you want to focus on that, and how can you help us?
Well, vitamin D is so important because when we are low on vitamin D, there are so many processes in our body that suffer. Right now, things that can happen when we're low with vitamin D are cardiovascular disease, cancer, metabolic syndrome, dementia, Alzheimer's, diabetes type 2, the propensity for, fractures.
Mm.
And then we start combining that with the aging process, which doesn't have to be a decline, but because of other factors, which would be in a completely different show, we have some, decline with, for instance, our hormone levels. Okay. Now
Sure.
everything is compounded. And so, they all work together along with thyroid. And again, that's just yet another show that we could do together talking about that, because these are all lock and keys to each other. They work together in a very tight fashion. And so when we have low vitamin C, for instance, we start seeing weight gain, but this could cross over with also problems with our thyroid. But it also crosses over when our hormone levels are not optimized. Okay. So we have weight gain, we can have hair loss, depression, anxiety, bone loss. So we're talking osteopenia, osteoporosis. We're talking about fatigue, constant fatigue. But then again, we got to look at the thyroid, because that can be a factor contributing as well, and they can be compounding each other. We can be suffering from back pain, frequent infections. But when we look at frequent infections, well, once again, let's look at like estradiol, for instance, with the women, and UTIs. Then there's muscle pain, constant muscle pain, this aching, the joints, frozen shoulders. Now we're talking back again into a little bit of the hormone stuff. So for me, what I do is I combine all of this on the wellness portion of Artisan Face and Body. I look at all these things. I bring together allopathic medicine along with functional and integrative medicine. And it's not only looking at numbers, because I am not driven by numbers. Okay. I'm not impressed with numbers. But how are you feeling?
Right. The symptoms.
What are you feeling?
You.
What are you not feeling?
Right.
What's going on? For how long? When do you notice this? There's a lot of really fine-tuning and listening to a patient, and I'm not driven by, a time meter because of insurance or anything like that.
Right.
That's why I got out of the hospital. I don't want anyone telling me how to run my practice and how to relate to my patients. If I need to spend 45 minutes, an hour with you, that's exactly what I'm going to do.
Sure.
We're going to get to the bottom of it. You've taken time out of your day to come see me, and I'm going to see you.
And I can definitely give you a testimony about that, because I know hundreds of people that go to you. So let's just talk about Artisan Face and Body, Maltrees Ave in Dunedin.
Correct. 2101 Maltrees Avenue. It's Maltrees Crossing, right there in the heart of Dunedin, off of Patricia Avenue, right by Umberto's. I love Umberto's. I just ate there last night.
So people can come there to get aesthetic work, right?
Absolutely.
But what you're really trying to focus on, it sounds like, is for men and women, because I know you don't just do women.
Oh, no.
Men have problems with thyroid and vitamin D and all the stuff that you just talked about. It's not just a women's problem.
No, it's not. And it's not a gender specific problem. So I see all genders, all walks of life, and there's no discrimination. It's a complete safe place. You go there, you're a human being. We're going to get down to the bottom of things.
So a woman that's tired, and all the symptoms that you just talked about could be somewhat, like probably everyone I know has those. And it could be something as they just need more vitamin D, or that they need more estrogen or testosterone or whatever. Their hormones are unbalanced. That's something that you can help them with, right?
Absolutely.
Okay.
Absolutely. Mm-hmm.
So they make an appointment with you.
Mm-hmm.
And walk us through what that would look like.
So, there's an intake that patients will fill out before they even get to the office. It gives me a general idea of what I'm looking at. Mm-hmm. But I'm not blinded by it. because usually what's on there is not everything, because people forget to put things, or they're they're like, oh, I don't have time to finish all of this, because we're in the rush type of life,
Well, they're embarrassed to put it on writing.
Exactly. And I see that, but I have really learned to fine tune, reading, seeing what I read, and watching a person walk in, and right there and then I'm already thinking A, B, C, D, and I just start asking questions. But I also create a relatedness, because I'm a human being too. I have suffered from low vitamin D, where I had a physician telling me that I had bilateral plantar fasciitis and that I needed, cortisone injections in my heels 3 times each heel.
Ouch.
Okay. My right hip, my right shoulder, my right elbow. And I was like, this is not getting better. And I'm tired of being a pincushion. And I feel off.
Right.
I feel off, and I know better. And I'm telling you, let's check this. Oh no, your thyroid levels are normal. I'm like, yeah, but guess what? I've got all these symptoms, which is what we call subclinical hypothyroidism, and I'm like, and why is all this happening? Oh, it's stress. Oh, you need to, that's the number one thing that many providers, unfortunately, will explain, especially to women, unfortunately. It's the stress. You need to do this, or you need to eat less, or you need to exercise more. I'm like, okay, well, I compete in martial arts. I run half marathons and marathons. I'm at the gym, and I run inline skate. I mean, how much more
or
can I do?
Or they want to pop a pill.
Yeah, exactly. And take this and take
this
that,
antidepressant or
this,
something. Sure.
So, and that's another thing. It's not that I don't prescribe. I do prescribe what is necessary. Right. And I try and keep it. I work a lot through compounding pharmacies, because I like the naturalness of everything, the clean medication. I don't like to start throwing synthetics in there, because that creates another problem.
Right.
So this is how we work. And I work at 3 systems at a time, because a lot of these systems overlap.
Sure.
And so I want to see what it is that we're fixing. So I take your big 3, I'm like on a, list of all these 10 things that bother you. Which are your top 3 that bother you the most?
Got it.
Okay, let's start working there. And it's like clockwork. Everyone is always saying the same exact 3 first when they, if they have that list. And so we start working from there, and people will tell me, you've changed my life. You've changed my relationship. You've done, and it's on and on. And this is wonderful, because that's what being a provider to me is about, is making a difference for someone else, and sharing that gift that I have of understanding all of this with someone to help them live their best life, because, we're here to live our best life. We've got a tremendous amount of everything going on around us. The last thing you need is a provider not listening and watching out for you.
Which happens a lot. So we're talking to Donna Gonzalez, the owner of Artisan Face and Body, which is more than just face. It's a lot of internal and body, right? Okay, that's Absolutely. What we're talking about. And what about these natural treatments? You were mentioning just briefly the natural treatments. What exactly does that mean?
So yes, at Artisan Face and Body, we do your Botox, we do Dysport, I have every dermal filler.
Thank you for the Dysport. My forehead looks much better.
I do all those things, and I enjoy doing that,
and
no
you're
doubt.
Awesome.
Thank you. But I also really focus on treating the root of the problem. So that's why wellness is in there. However, so we have a decline, let's say, in collagen, right? We stop, producing collagen in our bodies in our late 20s.
Okay.
Okay. Yeah. And we continue to decline after that, at about 1% a day, 1 to 3% a day, unless we are stimulating it or feeding our cells somehow, okay, to power that mitochondria, to power that NAD, to power the reversal of the senescence in our cells to make collagen, right?
Right.
So what I like to do is, there are people that will say, listen, I want to keep it all natural. What can you do? And I'm like, hey, I'm right there with you. Let's do some collagen induction therapy.
What is that?
My
ears just perked up. Go ahead.
I have ways to stimulate collagen production, okay, in tissue, even with, hair, for instance. We have follicles that are dormant and we have follicles that are just not working anymore. But the dormant cells, I can wake them back up, okay, by natural things. For instance, platelet-rich fibrin comes, it's your own exosomes, your own body, your own DNA, your own messenger RNA, okay? I can draw your blood. I can spin your blood down. I can extract a certain part of that, okay, from the plasma. Okay, I can inject it back into your tissue.
Which I've had several times, and that is a fantastic thing, and you're absolutely right.
I mean, you've got all your mesenchymal cells in there. All right. Now, is everyone a candidate? No. Sometimes, some patients have to be on certain medications that don't give their cells the best viability at that moment. Okay. But there are other things that I can do through external vesicles that come from adipose as well, that I can do as well to do that. And that's natural. There are certain therapies, for instance, microchanneling, little needles that go in through the dermis, okay, through the skin. They create a controlled, purposeful injury that tells the body, hey, we have injury, we need to repair. And then again, with this, that's another avenue. Then I can add a little bit of heat to that with radio frequency. Again, building from the bottom up, getting all of that goodness. Same thing with treatments like a PRXT33. It's a topical treatment that, it's from Italy. It is a certain acids that are encapsulated in hydrogen peroxide, and then it, seeps down past the surface of the skin, and where it lets its goodness off and cleaves off from the hydrogen peroxide at the mid-level dermis, which is like where, when you get goosebumps, well, that part of your hair that little muscle that stands the hair up, that's called the papillary dermis, mid-level dermis. That's where the magic happens, the dermal epidermal junction, DEJ. And, that's where all the magic happens. I work in that plane of the skin to create, better, thicker, healthier skin, melasma, sunspots, fine lines, deep lines, thin skin, thicken it up. And so these are wonderful ways of doing that. There's also...
But I have to interrupt you. Yeah. Juan, I need you to play I'm So Excited again. I do. Because I'm so excited to get back on your schedule, is what I'm so excited about.
Tonight, we're gonna make it happen.
Oh, yeah.
All of the things
I'm going to start playing this in the office now.
Thank you, Juan, for doing that when you didn't even know you're going to have to. But seriously, listening to you, I have to get on your schedule. I'm calling Kelly. What's the number that I should call or anyone should call to get on your schedule and get on her schedule? Because wow. And I know exactly what you're talking about. And I'm like, you're right. I need to do that again. So what's your number?
Sure. The number is area code 727-223-3027. Again, area code 727-223-3027.
Excellent. Now, what about skin tightening?
Skin tightening. Well, I take my hands and I pull back like this now.
Yeah. And you say, don't, and then you get tape out, right? Yeah.
Right. Oh my goodness. Skin tightening is very involved. Sometimes certain, deficits that a person may have require surgery if they want to create a certain result. That's the reality of things.
Right, but you can make it happen without surgery.
However, I mean, is it going to be as good as surgery? Not really, not all the time, because it depends on the deficit. However, I can prepare you for surgery so that the surgeon has the best platform to work with, okay, on the real severe, deficits. But then you have people with mild to moderate. And those are people that, I can get a lot of result from that will put off surgery, a little bit longer, or put it off completely if they're very happy with the results that they're getting. And usually people are like, I just want to look more rejuvenated, more refreshed, more rested. Now, if they, out of that result, get people telling them, wow, you look 10 years younger. Well, then I've underpromised and over-delivered, which is what I believe in doing.
Right. Exactly. So talk about Kelly, because I know she's your right-hand
yes.
woman. What is her role? And she has an amazing background. So not only you're getting Donna, her team is 5-star. Top-notch experience. So I know I'm going off on a little bit of a tangent, but just we have to give a little hats off to Kelly.
No, we got to give a big hats off to Kelly. Kelly is my person.
Yeah.
Okay. I do what I do. I know what I know, but I can't make it happen without someone that really understands what I do. And that's my Kelly.
Yeah.
Okay. And she is amazing. She has been in the industry for over 26 years. She knows all of this stuff like the back of her hand as well. She's not a provider, but she knows exactly, when someone's telling her, I need this or I have that, she's like, okay. She goes, more than likely, this is what you might, be looking at. However, come see Donna, let her decide exactly what it is that you need.
Yeah.
And she's the COO of the company.
Yep.
She runs my day-to-day everything, my calendar, my schedule. When I need to be here with Devin, she's like, you need to be there with Devin. And I'm like, whatever you say, Kelly, because without Kelly, I can't be.
Yeah, Kelly, we just had to say, something because you are amazing. And no one can do it alone. Right. We all need our Kellys in our life. Mine's name is Mark. So,
and we both know the business of the industry, but I can't focus on you and everything that I need to do for you and be thinking, oh, did we do this quarter? What did we do? And what about, we do have our daily and our weekly meetings, and it's like, okay, I would like to see this trajectory, but she's like, all right, great. I'll make it happen.
Right. And if you ever want to find out how to get to, you can go to strollharborbluffs.com. And they're also in our monthly magazine, a full page ad that they have there. And they're always talking about new things and tips and specials and everything. So Artisan Face and Body is the place to go. What else would you like to say let's talk about that Women's Day again.
I would love to do that because that is so exciting. And, and just, to have Fawn Grimmer there. This woman is a trailblazer. This is someone who was, knocked down and told she couldn't do it, but every time someone just knocked her down, she got right back up because it's all about getting back up. Okay. It's about the recovery, not the falling, but how you get back up.
Right.
So starting from, being a journalist, which is her first passion, then, starting and then doing coaching, then writing books. She wrote to Oprah over 20 times. I think it was like 28, 29 times a letter, like, please read this book, please, and finally someone saw her letter and was like, hey, this deserves a looking at.
Yeah.
And so one of her books is an Oprah book.
Awesome.
Okay. She is, like I said, she is a 4 times Pulitzer Prize nominee. She's an international speaker on leadership and performance for some of the world's largest corporations and organizations. She's very well sought after, and she's a TEDx speaker. We are over the moon. And when I say we, you think I'm the one putting this together. It's not. It's Mona McGregor and Deanna Breeze from Ideal Life Counseling. But, we are sponsors for them, but we believe in them. And that's why we decided to be a sponsor, for this Women's Day.
We got to get her on the show.
We do.
We need to get her on the show. Now, if it's March 8th, it's at the Fenway. It's from 11 to 2. You need to get tickets for this. It's going to sell out. So, Donna, do you want to tell them how to get tickets, or should I?
Oh, we can both tell them because, the more the merrier.
I agree.
But anyways, you need to go to Eventbrite.
Okay.
Okay. And on Eventbrite, you need to look at International Day 2025, Accelerate Action. And again, that's Eventbrite, International Day 2025, Accelerate Action. This is women supporting women, women lifting each other up, networking. I cannot tell you, Sharon Feckerty also is helping along with this, and just there aren't enough arms and fingers on this woman to explain to you the depth of her reach with her network.
Excellent.
Okay. The same thing with, Mona and Diona. It's amazing, and then to have, our keynote speaker there. I mean, this is like full on powerhouse.
Right. So you should get your tickets.
Mm-hmm.
And then look at these ladies are turning around and supporting Raising Relief Foundation.
Exactly.
Which is so amazing. And again, a local nonprofit supports other local nonprofits, and then families and people in crisis.
You got to pay it backward. Any way you can pay it, you got to put it out there because it's about the connections.
So again, it's March 8th at the Fenway, 11 to 2. And like Donna said, you go on Eventbrite, International Day 2025, Accelerate Action. And that's ACCELERATE Action. So speaking about action, I think I'm going to get into some of the scoop and the buzz that's happening this weekend. Before I do that, Donna, again, tell the name of your place and how does someone actually contact, website, all that kind of good stuff.
Well, we're on Instagram. We're on Facebook. Okay. Artisan Face and Body. We are located in Dunedin, right off Patricia Avenue, right next to the Orange Blossom Cafe, which is amazing also. And our address is 2101 Maltrees Crossing. We are Suite 123, really easy. And our phone number is area code 727-223-3027. All you got to do is give us a little ringy dingy. We'll get you in there. Like I said, I'm always back to back full, but we always find space for people to get their things done. I've been known to open up, an extra day if I need to accommodate, the people. I've got people that fly in from other states. I have people that do a lot of international work, and I have a lot of TV, a talent that comes in. And I've been known to be there at 10 o'clock at night because, hey, I'm on a flight from Germany. And I just found out that tomorrow afternoon I got to fly out, but I need XYZ. Is there any way you can get me? And I'm like, all right, well, I'll see you at 10 p.m.
That's because you work with your heart. And Kelly, take this as a little ringy dingy from Devin to get me on Donna's schedule. So Donna, you're going to want to take notes too, because we got some great things coming up. Okay. First of all, February 12th is Cupcakes and Champagne Ladies Party, and that's going to be at Suzette's in Bel Air Bluffs off of Indian Rocks Road. And not only are we having cupcakes, but we are having cupcakes from Katrina's Bakery. Remember the ones you had?
Yes, I had those at our event, our holiday event in December.
Oh my God.
Oh my goodness. Everything from Katrina's is amazing.
It's amazing.
We had a little smorgasbord of everything. And all of our guests were like, oh my goodness, this is amazing. This is amazing. We did have just a few left over only because we didn't put them out. Because I was like, I just want to take these home.
So
that's amazing.
Cupcakes and Champagne at Suzette's, which is a boutique in Bel Air Bluffs off of Indian Rocks Road. And we are going to meet Katrina, and she's going to bring her cupcakes. And they're actually a new bakery that's off of East Bay in Largo, over next to that Whiskey Joe's. So it's kind of like hidden back off of East Bay. But if you look for Whiskey Joe's, it's right next to it. And the ambiance in there is absolutely adorable. So go check that out. And tonight, mention Cocktails and Conversation. It's a financial planning, awareness, education for women on finances, and that is at Coastal Market 607 tonight at 6 p.m. And February 5th is the Mercy Beatles Band, and that is it's so cool. It's 4 lads from Liverpool, and they're going to be at the Central Park Performing Arts Center. I don't know if you've ever been there, but they have amazing shows and talent and unbelievable. Great. So I got a bunch of things that they're doing. So that's February 5th at 7:30. Till Death Do Us Part is a hilarious comedy, and that's actually February 6th at 7:30. And this I'd like to go to. It's February 7th. It's a musical, Girls' Night. And And it's supposed to be about these 5 crazy girlfriends that go and have an adventure, and Lord only knows what happens there. So we should go
Sounds
February
like our
7th.
crowd that we run with.
Yeah, it sounds like our crowd that we probably are starring in it, and we just didn't know it. So that's at the Central Park Performing Arts Center, and that's off of West Bay in Largo, and it's February 7th, Girls' Night at 8 p.m. And then for all the Toby Keith fans, there's a tribute band on 2/8 at 8 o'clock for his. And then on February 12th is a tribute to the Eagles.
I know.
That's great. And that's at 7:30.
I can't see them enough. I think I've seen them like 4 or 5 times.
Yeah. Well, I don't know if you've ever been to any of their tributes, but their stuff is great. These people knock it. They really do a great job. So Central Park Performing Arts Center is happening. You can just go on their website, centralparkperformingartscenter.com, and you can see all their shows that I just mentioned. And then I want to talk about a cool thing that's happening after cupcakes and champagne over at Indian Rocks Cafe and Deli. And it's not that far. It's Indian Rocks Beach on Gulf Boulevard. They are partnering with Dee's Homemade Pasta, who both of those are in our BeLocal Beaches magazine. They met at one of our networking events, speaking of networking, and they now do pasta making classes.
Oh.
And she does homemade. She says she does it like her grandma, like not through the machines, like you're going to roll it out. It's going to be so fun. And there's wine, and it's great. So that's going to be on February 12th, and it's from 6 to 9 at Indian Rocks Cafe and Deli.
All right. Well, you had me at pasta and wine.
Yeah, but it's you have to talk to Dee, and she was on our show, and you can look at it in our magazine. And she actually just did a spotlight article, so go check that out in Stroll Harbor Bluffs. But she does it without all the stuff. It's like natural. It has like 4 ingredients. Do you know what I'm saying?
Right. Well, with all these incredible festivities, with all these little bites and little, treasures and libations. We also have weight loss at Artisan Basin Body.
Yes, you do.
Because this is a full month of, indulgence, it sounds like.
Well, yeah, there's always food and wine and raffles. All our events have great raffles. February 22nd is one of our Neighbors Night Out at the Central Park Performing Arts Center. There's going to be tables there with our sponsors, and we're going to be doing raffles. Central Park Performing Arts Center is going to be doing some cool trivia with concert tickets and whatnot, giveaways. There's going to be food, and there's going to be a cash bar. So that's going to be a fabulous night. And it's a Saturday night, so I'm excited about that. And that's February 22nd. Again, one last shout out to Donna, owner of Artisan Face and Body. Kelly, ringy dingy, put me on Donna's schedule. You just tell me what I need and I go with it because.
And I just want to remind everyone, Kelly is amazing, and she mans the phones and everything and my schedule. So you'll be speaking with her, but just remember, she's my COO. She runs everything. I know sometimes people will come and say, "Oh, you're a secretary." I'm like, I don't have a secretary.
No,
I don't have a secretary. I don't have a reception. I have Kelly, and I'm like, and she runs my life.
Yeah. Exactly.
She knows better how to put everything out there for me.
Oh, she's amazing. So again, and you're both part of Raising Relief Foundation, and you guys are rocks in our foundation. So thank you for that. Juan, good to have you back. I just want to say, everyone, have a fabulous weekend, and get over to Cocktails and Conversation tonight at 6. I will see you next Thursday on Tan Talk Radio. Be safe.
Bye-bye.
Hey, hey. Bye, bye, bye. I'm doing this tonight. You're probably gonna start a fight. I know this can't be right. Hey, baby, come on. I loved you endlessly, and you weren't there for me. So now it's time to leave and make it alone. I know that I can't take no more. It ain't no lie. I wanna see you out that door, baby. Bye, bye, bye. I don't wanna be a fool for you. Just another player in your game for two. You may hate me, but it ain't no lie. Bye, bye, bye.
Entertaining and informative radio for the Sunshine State.